Yo, what's good, Spirit Squad? Today we're going to be going over a Pauper deck list. Except it's actually not Pauper. We're going to be playing Modern, but the deck is going to be very Pauper-esque. What we're going to be doing here is playing Mono Blue Tempo, and it's not going to play like Mono Blue Spirits does in Historic or Pioneer. Instead, we're going to be playing a more Fairies and Ninjas based deck, a lot like you would see in Pauper. So we're going to get to play cool new cards like Moon Circuit Hacker, and combine those with tried and true staples like Spell Stutter Sprite to see if we can't ninjutsu our way into some really cool shenanigans. Let's check out the deck list and see what we're talking about here. Here, we've got an incredibly simple mana base. A giant stack of 18 islands, 2 Mutavaults, and 2 Otawaras. That's it. Super easy. But everything else is going to just be Mono Blue Tempo good stuff, right? So we've got some Fairy Miscreants and Fairy Seers, and these are going to be a lot of what you would remember from your Pauper Mono Blue list for anybody who plays that format. We're also going to be playing 3 copies of Brine Barrow Intruder, and this is going to be just a flash 1/2 that, you know, gives a creature -2/-0 when it enters the battlefield. I intend to use this as a relatively sweet Ragavan killer, but we'll see what actually ends up happening over the course of our league today. We also get to play Moon Circuit Hacker and kind of rebuy any of our sweet 1-drops since we're playing 11 1-drops, and that'll make it so ninjutsu on turn 2 should be incredibly easy to proc. We've also got 4 copies of Spell Stutter Sprite, and we'll notice that our deck has a giant pile of fairies to play off of Spell Stutter Sprite. We've got 4 copies of Fairy Seer, 4 copies of Fairy Miscreant, Spell Stutter Sprite itself, and 2 copies of Brazen Borrower, which are fairies. So having Spell Stutter Sprite be able to counter spells that cost more than 1 mana should happen relatively often with this kind of list. To go with Spell Stutter Sprite, we also have a bunch of other counter spells. We have actual counterspell, the other 3 copies of Spell Stutter Sprite, so there's 8 things right there, 2 Force Negations, and 3 copies of Subtlety. So on top of the Spell Pierces that cost 1, we've got a bunch of interaction that costs 0, and then some really strong stuff that costs 2. If you want to pay 4 mana for Subtlety, you're allowed. So we've got all kinds of great interaction at all mana points throughout the course of our game, starting from 0 mana. I'm really hyped to ruin some days with that. And to catch up on cards, because, you know, we're going to be pitching things to subtleties, we're going to be pitching things to forces, we've got a lot of card draw in this deck. We've got 4 copies of Moon Circuit Hacker, 2 copies of Ninja of the Deep Hours, and we're only going to be playing 2 in this list because Modern is not Pauper. There's a lot of removal, and for the most part, it's probably a lot better. So instead of being able to rely on Ninja of the Deep Hours to be able to hit more than once, realistically, we're probably only going to get 1 or 2 hits out of this most of the time. So I don't want to really go kind of balls to the wall on 4 copies of this. But I think 2 on top of the 4 Moon Circuit Hackers is totally going to be good enough, especially when we're like rinsing and reusing super sweet stuff like Spell Stutter Sprites, Subtleties, and even Fairy Miscreants to draw us cards and stuff. So I'm really hoping that, you know, we get to draw a lot of cards doing that. But we've got Moon Circuit Hackers, we've got Ninja of the Deep Hours, and 4 copies of One Mind. And this is one of those cards that's been making really big waves in this deck in Pauper, because normally it just costs 3 for a divination, and like, okay, that's not bad, right? I mean, it's kind of bad, but not that bad. But if you have a human and a non-human, then you just get to straight up draw 2 cards for 1 mana, and that's this close to being pot agreed. So we've got Fairy Miscreants and Brine Barrow Intruders, and if you have 1 of each for just 1 mana each, that's already a human and a non-human, making of 1 mind super easy, right? But also Moon Circuit Hacker, just 1 mana, is a human, so that's already incredibly easy to get on the table. We've got another 1 mana human that's incredibly easy to get on the table. This human only costs 2 to get on the table, and then all of the rest of our fairies are non-humans. Also, Mutavault counts as a human, so if you just have like any non-human and you just want to like pay 1 mana to proc Mutavault, cool, you can just pay 1 mana for Of One Mind, and even if you spend the mana on Mutavault and spend the mana on Of One Mind, that's still a 1 mana discount on the Of One Mind. So, well, we'll keep that in mind. That's going to be it for our main deck, though. I'm pretty excited about that. As far as our sideboard goes, we've got a bunch of stuff in here that I am expecting to do good things against the format. We'll see what actually ends up happening. What I've got going on here is a little bit of expected stuff and a little bit of weird stuff. expected stuff. I've got a plan for Hammer Time. We've got 3 copies of Thieving Skydiver because we want to just be able to steal any kind of trademark artifacts that your opponent has on the table. We don't really want to deal with too much nonsense. We've got some good stuff for control decks like Mystical Dispute, Negate, and if we're playing against something with both Furies and Solitudes, we've actually got 2 copies of Nyx, and this is just counter target spell if no mana was spent on it, which is really good against Solitude. It's really good against Fury. It's also really good against both Rhinos and Living End, because if they cascade, then, well, no mana was spent on that. So you can just cast Nyx and counter those things. To that end, we've also got 3 copies of Chalice of the Void. They are good against Rhinos, they are good against Living End, but they're also great against decks like Death Shadow, which is still the best deck in the format. It's also pretty good against decks that, you know, also just utilize Luris, like Hardened Scales. As of the time of this recording, it just got done taking both first and second in a Modern challenge, so something to look out for. Against the Ragman decks, we've also got 3 copies of Gut Shot, so we don't really want to deal with any of Rag Darcy nonsense. It's okay against Hammer Time. I don't think I'll be siding it in if we fight Hammer Time, but it's not bad. And just any other X1 creatures, just don't really want to deal with it. So we've got Gut Shots here. But that's going to be the list, and I'll see y'all in round 1. All right, so round 1, we get the die roll. That's pretty sweet. And, yeah, not sad about this, right? Like, we've got a couple of lands, we got counter spells, we've got a ninja, we're going to keep it. And, yeah, I am actually pretty hyped to see where this goes. So the plan here is going to be to just play an island, hold up our intruder, right? And then we get to flash it in at the end of their turn, and we can untap and immediately cast ninjutsu, Ninja of the Deep Hours. So that's pretty. Tron, oh man, that actually makes our subtlety in hand feel even better. So we're gonna get to just do this right off the bat, right? Here, I'll be actually pretty happy to just put in this, and then I have access to Moon Circuit Hacker later on. Brian Barrow Intruder has basically no text here, so I'll be pretty excited to just go ahead and pitch it to Subtlety if need be. So yeah, this feels pretty good. This is going to be another one of those matchups where, like, I'm very, very happy to be on the play. So let's go ahead here, return our friend, ninjutsu, draw a card, always yes, always yield, yes, yes, yeah. And in case something really bad, like say Ugin, slips through the cracks here, I'll be pretty happy to have this Mutavault because it can still attack even if they get to, like, you know, do the thing. So let's untap here, and we will be medium sad about the fact that they get to actually do their thing. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm not playing Mutavault, so I'm not worried about playing the land first. If you had a real decision about the land drop you make, then it's definitely better to, like, do your attack, get your damage, draw your card, and then make your land drop. But here we know our plan is going to be play the intruder, probably cast counterspell, untap Moon Circuit Hacker, holding up Subtlety, or just attack with Brian Barrow Intruder. But either way, we don't want to, like, have Mutavault because we can't cast counterspell and play Brian Barrow Intruder if we're playing Mutavault this turn. So let's see what this turn contains. This is a Karn the Great Creator. Okay, so this is going to be one where I am going to cast a counterspell, but this could be an Oblivion Stone, and it is. Okay, so they got to, like, kind of sneak one through, and, you know, sometimes you just kind of, oh man, that'd have been really good, but that's okay. So we're going to get to do this now, and we get to get our attack on here. I think I am going to gate in the Moon Circuit Hacker. I want to actually, so we're going to get to draw 2 cards off of this, and yes, I would like to draw my card. So let's end the turn. And they can pay 5 and blow our friends up here, but I still have 2 flash threats that I can present here. So, like, that's not bad. Relic I don't really care about. And I'm not going to play any of my intruders here because we know that they have to respect this, and otherwise I'm just going to get to draw 2 more cards. So they have to do something about this now. This lets me hold up a bunch of intruders. I can flash in Subtlety. So we're not exactly sad about the way this is going. So they're gonna go ahead and activate their relic first. I don't care about that. So let's have you blow this up now. All right, you got it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and just cast my Fairy Miscreant, and I'll be able to hold up Subtlety just fine. I would like to draw another ninja preferably, so that we can go ahead and, like, oh, that's unexpected. Oh, I just realized we're playing against blue Tron. Oh my god. Oh, that's obnoxious. Crap. That means that this can be like condescend or something, huh? Ah. Oh, didn't even think about that. Yikes. Blue Tron. Didn't even click in my brain that blue Tron could be a thing that existed. So here, what can I do? I can cast Subtlety, trying to avoid cards like Condescend. Or I can pitch Subtlety, they can Condescend, and then I can come back with what? No, I think what I'm going to do here is let them resolve Karn, and they can get something like an Ensnaring Bridge, which I can then counter, and untap with Brine Bearer Intruders in play. I like that better. We're not going to cast a Subtlety, they're going to get something, and I can counter the something rather than trying to deal with that. So a Walking Ballista. I am actually mostly okay with them having a Walking Ballista because I know that we can do something about that right now. Warping Whale. Am I going to get another use out of this Spell Pierce if I don't use it now? I think the answer is no. No, I've got 2 more Intruders. I don't need to worry about that. So I'm going to hold the Spell Pierce just in case they decide to do something along the lines of, say, Walking Ballista for like 100 million and then try to like protect it with just 1 counter spell, but I'm going to have access to Subtlety and access to Spell Pierce to protect against a big ass Walking Ballista. So right now they currently have 7, 8, 9 mana, and I can just like play this right. Yeah, because that's exactly Subtlety plus Spell Pierce mana. And Descry is actually pretty good here. So what do I get? I don't want this. I do want this. So this isn't even bad either, because like a big ass Walking Ballista, another Karn. Blech. I can't protect against a Karn, so I'm not going to try. I will not be happy about an Ensnaring Bridge here, but they have 4 cards, so I can't really do much about that. Ratchet Bomb sucks. It's not the worst though. It does clear out all my 1-drops, but we know that we're going to be drawing a copy of anyway. So I'm actually pretty okay with this. Oh, there's our Walking Ballista. Walking Ballista protects them against exactly my Mutavault attack. Do I give a shit about that? Like, we know we're drawing Brazen Bower, so I think the answer is just no. I think I just let their Walking Ballista resolve. Attack for... Yeah, because I'll be able to activate Mutavault, and that lets me attack just fine. Because they have to, like, block and sack Walking Ballista just to protect Karn, but they won't be able to because of Mutavault. Or I can... No, I'm going to do exactly that. They can have that. So I'm still able to keep my Subtlety and do something big with it. Yeah. Okay. So doing this allows me to keep up Subtlety mana. So now they can block and sacrifice to deal with something Karn related. So if they like block here, sacrifice here, and there's still 3 more attackers getting at Karn. And that's... So we've gotten to deal with the 2 Karns, and I won't lie and say I'm like the biggest fan of this happening, but wahaha. And if I really need to like a Worm Coil Engine, it's fucking annoying. Well, won't lie and say that doesn't suck, right? So I think I have to pitch Subtlety to that. Oh man, kind of really wanted if I pitch Subtlety to the Worm Coil Engine and their card in hand ends up being like a Condescend, they can Condescend for 2. I can pay for that. If it is something else though, then I'm kind of screwed, but I think I have to give myself the chance to do that. Condescend, where X is 2, I can at least pay for that. This admittedly still sucks, but not just the end of the world. I still really wanted my 3-drop here. I'm sorry, I wanted my 4-drop here. I'm at least going to be able to play a decent amount of Magic like this. Let's draw a counterspell. Wrong counterspell, but you know, I guess I'll take it. They can't put a counter on this, so I don't mind just getting my attack on here. So are we blocking? We are block sacking, sure. So they take 3. So you go to 9, and if you cast Worm Coil Engine, then my entire turn is basically gonna just be, what's this? Thirst for Knowledge. I don't think I can afford to counter that, so I'm not going to. I won't lie and say I like that resolving, but there's not really too much I can do about that. If they play Worm Coil Engine, then what's my turn here? I can't do anything about that. Okay, and there's our Ratchet Bomb friend. So do I worry about Ratchet Bomb since I'm already just worried about this, right? So I think my turn is going to be playing the Brazen Bower, or rather the rest of their turn is going to be playing the Brazen Bower. Yeah, sure, you can have your counter on that. So we cast this. Hope it's not a counter spell. I'm sure it is. It is. Okay, so there's the Condescend we talked about earlier. Can't do much about that. So now we untap, and I guess my goal here is to try to draw something to bounce our Worm Coil Engine. Is that really the out here? Well, you're late. You're a little late. Kind of wanted you a turn ago, because being able to like put this out of commission for another turn would have been really nice. But I can't do shit about that, so that's just kind of what it is. So you're gonna go back up to 14. Do I get out of this? I don't know that I get out of this. So what's my out? I have another Brazen Bower, and then I can counter it on the way back down. Oh, I guess I'll give us another draw step to try to get out of that, but they're going right back up to 20, and that's kind of a tall order. So what's this? Another Thirst for Knowledge. Unfortunate. Dismember an island. They're gone. Played another island. So we're taking 6 and going to 8. They're getting their Worm Coil Friendly back. Okay. And I think I actually am just going to cast one of these. So what's this? Okay. I cannot pay 3. But luckily this isn't really doing anything either. So hopefully that as kind of like a bait spell for... Nope, not that. All right. I'll tap out here. They got me. So against them, we want... The negates are pretty decent. I medium like Thieving Skydivers. They can steal honestly a lot of stuff in this matchup. They do play a lot of random artifacts. What do I want Thieving Skydiver more than though? I definitely want it more than these intruders, right? I like the flyers, and I don't necessarily like the yeah, I think Spell Stutter Sprite's my worst card here actually. I think it's worse, or I think the sprites are worse than the 1-drops, because the 1-drops at least give me access to really early ninjutsu, but the spell starter sprites are kind of embarrassing against the deck that's casting like 8-drops, right? Like we're never countering, say, an Ugin with spell starter sprite. So we want -4 sprites, -1 intruder, we want +2 negate, and some skydivers. And I think I like that better than trying to put in cards like Mystical Dispute, because Dispute is not bad, but I don't know that I like it enough to take out a bunch of 1-drops for him, you know. I also like the idea of Thieving Skydiver being able to, you know, just like be a pretty decent flyer, right? So you can like bounce it back with Moon Circuit Hackers and ninjas and stuff if you need to go about that route. But maybe this time, because we're also putting in more hard counters with negates and stuff too. So I like that against a deck that's trying to resolve big things like Ugins and Karns and whatnot. So I've got a lot more hope for this deck kind of post board. And it is unfortunate that we couldn't win even though we were on the play there. But we did draw like no actual card titled counterspell, and we drew our cards a little out of order, but we were able to draw a bunch of cards. This is a lot of lands, but otherwise okay actually. Yeah, like this is fine. Like if we draw 1 ninja, then this looks pretty good. The Otawara is actually pretty decent against things like a resolved Worm Coil Engine or whatever, and then counterspell and negate actually look pretty good against a lot of the stuff that they could be doing on and after turn 3 and whatnot. I don't want more islands though. You know what I really want next turn? I want either another Miscreant or a Moon Circuit Hacker, so that I can like both draw a card and have these things up, and they're just gonna have turn 3 Tron again, so that's unfortunate. Of one mind. That's so they're gonna get Tron. There's not much I can do about that, which is super unfortunate. Yeah, and them just like not even having to mull to get the Tron either. It's like, oh, come on, man. All right. So what's this? It's a Walking Ballista where X is 2, and that's unfortunate that I actually need to counter that, especially since they still have 3 mana up. But I am going to cast a card counterspell at it. So let's see if we can draw something good here. That's not bad, actually. I like that. So we do still need like a much better clock here, but Subtlety does provide exactly that. So if next turn they're just trying to hit me with like just a big ass spell of some sort, I'll be pretty... Oh no, that's not good for us. I'm not excited about that prospect, but I don't think I should put the Subtlety in now. I think I'm just going to untap. I am actually just going to play that as a land. Now I can force a negation plus negate, which is nice. I don't know that I should cast Of One Mind since I drew force and negation here, because I can just cast like force and negate. So I do like that. Yeah, I don't know. I think this hand needed to be like a little more threat heavy maybe, instead of just trying to play like effectively a relatively poor control deck, which is what's happening right now. So Thirst for Knowledge, you can catch my negate. So that takes me off of hard casting Subtlety, but not off of force and negation. So that's, I guess, something. So what's this? Oof, so many ballistas. Go away. How do I beat a bunch of walking ballistas? I think the answer is I don't. Yeah, like I think the legitimate answer is I just don't. Yikes. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass here, but they're gonna get to put a counter on ballista, and there's nothing I can do about that since I don't have a Brazen Bower in hand. I'm not gonna try to counter that. Cyclonic Rift. Okay, so this will be a situation where I would be pretty happy to draw like, I don't know, I guess a Thieving Skydiver, a Moon Circuit Hacker. Can't really make use of you right now. I kind of need this ballista to be the hell off the table. What's this? Condescend for 100? It's a condescend for 100. Okay. You know what? I'll just pack it up. So I think against regular Tron, this is actually fine, but like we found the blue Tron player, so I don't know, you got me. Next round. So we got round 2. We're on the draw, which is really bad for this hand, but the hand is otherwise playable. Our opponent is taking a mull, so I'm gonna try it anyway. So we've got Fairy Seer into Moon Circuit Hacker, which is pretty excellent on the play, but that is you know, not what we're... Another Tron? Fuck off! Come on. How do I always find these people? I'm actually going to keep this. I'm going to put this one on the bottom though. What is my life today? So this one's a more traditional green Tron, which is probably a little better for us, but still not like great. The fact that they kept double tower is actively really good for us though, because it does mean that I'm not at least looking at, you know, a turn 3 Tron, which is really nice because I've got the counterspell in hand and I have the ability to at least try to draw into other stuff here, like a subtlety. That's pretty good. Spell stutter sprite's pretty embarrassing and I don't need 106 land. So this turn I get to go relatively unbothered here, as opposed to them having 2 different Tron lands in turn 3 Tron, right? So if they're spending their turn like playing a land in expedition map, then that's much better for the likes of my counterspell and subtlety and stuff, because I'm gonna get to resolve of one mind, draw 2 cards, hold up counterspell the entire time, and potentially loot. So that's pretty good. Yeah, so you got it, Chief. So I like that a lot better as far as my chances go. So let's do this, draw 2 cards, and yeah, like this feels way better. And I get to like loot one of these lands away. So even though I'm not going to get a true draw out of Moon Circuit Hacker here, I'm still pretty happy to loot away a land when I have 3. And next turn I've got another Moon Circuit Hacker too, so like that's pretty good. If they don't play a threat that I care about, then we have access to like flashing this in and kind of rinsing and repeating next turn too. Yeah, lots of good stuff for us. That's not a Sylvan Scrying, so I'm not going to bother here. And they're just like digging for their 3rd land. Not much I'm doing about this, so you can have fun, opponent. If, however, they play a Sylvan Scrying, I will counter the living shit out of it. Okay, and that's not what's happening. So I'm just going to go ahead and put in my intruder here, untap, and what do we draw? Otawara. Okay. So I'm going to get to Of One Mind, Moon Circuit Hacker, hold up counterspell with 4 mana. I like that. And because that's what we're doing, I'm not going to try to hold up for potential Mutavault draw. Yeah. All right. So we're going to attack with these 3 and ninjutsu in, bringing our flash card back. This is insane. Draw, pitch, actual draw. And since we're holding up counterspell, we are passing a turn. I'm going to pitch this. I'm going to hold up both copies of Otawara because I still want to be able to like potentially bounce something like really wild here. Like this could just, okay, so they've got Karn. They also have 9 more mana to play with. That's so much. So yeah, let's counterspell this and see what 9 mana contains. Oblivion Stone, not much I'm doing about that. So they get to blow these things up. Annoying, but you got me. But even that's not that bad, right? Yeah, like I think I'm actually mostly okay with that. They're at 10. I'm holding up subtlety and a flash threat, and I can have another ninja next turn too. So they blow up my loots, none of which are actual draws anyway. So barring what? Ulamog, I think I'm still pretty happy about this. And almost worst case scenario here, I get to like, what? Play Brine Barrel, Spell Stutter Sprite. Okay, that's a Worm Coil Engine. I am just gonna pay 4 and subtlety that. I would like to not deal with that, please and thank you. Yeah, a lot of these masterpieces, I still don't really know what these look like on site, you know? All things considered, it's not like a bad picture by any means. Boo! That is one of the really annoying things about these decks, though, is that sometimes, you know, they just have 106 mana. So let's go ahead and I think I attack them. And I'm going to go ahead and gate in my friend here. Let's draw a card. There's a Mutavault. That's actively pretty good for us, actually. And here, they can kill this with Karn. That's fine. And then they can, like, put in Worm Coil Engine. I can put in a threat, bounce Worm Coil Engine, untap, and kind of get back to work, right? So, like, that's not that bad. And if they want to plus Karn, then I can just kind of, like, do my best to ignore that. I can't do shit about that, so that's whatever. But since it's on the table, I can bounce it with Otawaras, and I have 2 of them, so let's see what Karn chooses to do. If it goes up, then I don't mind just like getting rid of one of these, probably the spell starter. Another Wormcoil? Come on. Yo, what is with these people today? Yo. All right. All right, go on somewhere. Jeez, y'all. Yo, these people are wild today. Like, we can't get shit. Oh, my Lanta. All right. Enough complaining. Let's do the untap. That's not what I wanted. I'm gonna try and draw a counterspell. I mean, I'm not gonna draw 2 by any means against. I think that just sealed my fate, like not drawing any kind of counterspell, and then drawing all of our ground pounders. Yeah, I think this is where we're about to pack it up. Yeah. All right. Tron again. Oop, not gut shot. I don't want gut shot. I do want these. And do I want anything else against non-blue Tron? Oh yeah, duh. Terrible against Tron still. And I would actually rather have Mystical Dispute as a really bad counterspell than Spell Stutter Spray as an even worse counterspell against Tron. So we're basically looking at kind of the same scenario here, where our choices are honestly not that fantastic in specifically this deck. Increased number of counterspells is still pretty good if we get to get the ball rolling, right? So we get to, this is fine. So I get access to an intruder, a ninja after that. We're holding up a bunch of counterspells. Ninja is a lot better than the hacker too. So like that's pretty good. And we can start hopefully drawing things like subtleties, forces, and actual counterspells to go with our spell pierce, and hopefully that gets us like kind of to the finish line, right? But man, these Oblivion Stones are freaking wrecking us. Like I am already really missing Selfless Spirit. I'm so used to having Selfless Spirit and not caring. And I guess I could have cast that here, but I kind of want to like get my own ball rolling. Oh yes. Right, that's one of those always yes, always yield scenarios. And I like the negate though. So they get to go ahead and play another land, pop the map, etc., etc. Chromatic Sphere. Oh, are they stuck? They are. Okay. And they have more rocks. Got it. So we get to draw an Of One Mind, which is really nice. I don't have a non-human to go with my ninja, so I'm going to try to draw a non-human first. So let's see what we get off of ninja draw, a Moon Circuit Hacker, not a non-human, not complaining. So here I get to just like flash in Brine Barrow Intruder, untap Moon Circuit Hacker, the intruder back. Oh, it's doing the thing again. So the thing is where if you look at these full art lands, right, like super beautiful picture, everything's nice and cool looking, and as Richard Garfield designed. But when you have Yavimaya on the table, it turns my lands into something else's, and it takes away the full art. I want my full art, damn it. All right, so they're going to make a green mana. They have another rock. I'm not going to do anything about more rocks. I am, however, going to play more cards, and we can do the untap. So a Fairy Miscreant. Okay, so that's a non-human. So I'm going to go ahead and first, and we get to do this. Draw 2 more cards. It's actually kind of absurd, but yes, I would like to draw a card. And we'll play our land. It's not cool anymore. Ugh, wild. And here I'm going to actually just discard the intruder for end of turn. I don't want to use a mana here because I have both negate and spell pierce, and I would like to actually use both of those things. So I'm going to pitch this, keeping the Miscreant for Of One Mind starting next turn. And I'm going to keep both my lands because I want to play a land and hold Ultuara in hand. Like I would rather this be like a spell land than a true land, So they're going to get to go ahead, look for their thing. They found their thing. They have 8 mana too, so that's just enough for them to be able to cast like an Ugin. So if they cast an Ugin here, I'll be pretty happy to spell pierce that. Wahaha. And actually getting real use of my good card here. And even though that's not the most mana efficient thing, casting the negate is, I am much happier to keep a negate in hand. Ooh, an actual counterspell. Sick, we take those. So I'm going to play this, and I could have held onto my land to see what I drew first, but I'm fairly confident that I did not want to draw a Mutavault specifically this turn. Opponent says Tempo decks are so good. There. So I told them, they're kind of my jam. And that we wanted to play a little Pauper today, so that's what we're doing. We are playing some Pauper today. So here I'm just gonna cast Negate. So this could be what? Another Ugin. Okay. And Ugin's gonna catch a counter spell. Sick. So now we're gonna get to go to game 3, and I'm not changing my plan for game 3. So let's just, but yeah, I am glad our opponent's appreciating our tempo deck today. So, because like fighting the essentially same deck twice in a row when it's a really bad matchup is pretty obnoxious. But this actually this looks fine, right? Like I can turn 1 Fairy Seer, Scry, hope to draw counter spells the following turn, have Moon Circuit Hacker up, and then redeploy Seer so that I can cast a 1 Mine and hold up counterspell mana. Like that seems okay, especially if I actually draw a counterspell. I mean, Mystical Dispute is a counter spell, but like it always costs 3, so it's just like I don't want Mystical Dispute. It just happens to be better than Spellstutter Sprite. Let's see what kind of start we have from our opponent here. No rock, notable. What do we draw? What do we draw now? Okay, another island. So I am hopefully done drawing lands, and there's an actual counterspell, there's a Miscreant. I do not want the Miscreant, I definitely want the counterspell. So let's see what our opponent comes up with here. Boseiju as a land, sure. Sylvan Scrying, I can't do anything about it. Sad times. They find an Urza's Mine, okay. And we're gonna draw a counterspell here, but since our opponent is not going to be, they're not going to be finding Tron this turn, relatively happy to be able to tap out of actual counterspell right now. And I don't want the Miscreant since I just put one on the bottom. Do I want a Spell Pierce? I think the answer is actually yes. Opponent says Ninjutsu's crazy. It's so fun. Okay, okay, good. I was gonna say this could just be a copy of oh, what do you call it? Oblivion Stone, but it wasn't. And it's good because I don't have a force yet. So here I can Moon Circuit Hacker this back, have counterspell mana, and I think that's actually pretty good here. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna Moon Circuit Hacker here. Yes, I would like to draw, discard an island. Yes, I would like to draw. This one I get to keep, and we're holding up counterspell itself, so I'm doing nothing else. Go. So if this is just like land 7-drop protect with Veil of Summer, then I am ultra sad about that. But I honestly can't do shit about that, so like it's kind of what it is. That's one of the cooler ones. So I think I'm going to just Spell Pierce here. And if this is Veil of Summer, like I can't do anything about it. So like whatever. What just happened? Oh, Jesus Christ. Did they just have another mana floating? 2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Oh God, I'm just dumb. Okay, whoops. Oh, don't mind me. All right. That sucks. Oh man, I'm on tap. Whoops. Well, I guess ninjutsu's pretty good when your opponent's really bad. Let's Fairy Seer. Oh God, that was terrible. Bottom top, and then I can cast of 1 Mind. So I can at least, oh well, I have a lot of counter spells, but like that was not good. So I'm gonna end up like having to kind of let them draw the card, right? Like I can't do anything about this. This is resolved, and they've got infinite ground pounders against my stuff. Like this is just not gonna be good times for me. I can't do anything about that. All right, so we're gonna loot away one of these, and a Mutavault's actually not bad. But all I have going on is a counterspell, and Ugin makes all of their shit cheaper now. Oh God. So if this mana ended up being for copy of Veil of Summer, then like that just kind of doubly sucks to be me, but I think I'm just done here. God, they have so much mana left. All right. Well, I do not think we're winning this game, but if it helps at all, I don't think we were winning through a Veil of Summer anyway. Oh my God, they had 2 cards. I'm just gonna pack this up. We are so done. There. I'll be pleasant to my opponent real quick, tell him GG, and then yeah, next round. Fingers crossed for it to be better. Come on, no. Oh man, we are having a day, y'all. We are having a day. So let's, I guess, try this. Oh, this is a swamp. I do not enjoy this. I have a confuse. I have no idea what's happening right now. I would have guessed 8-rack from just basic swamp pass. Now I just straight up have no idea what's happening. So I guess I'm just gonna hold up counterspell and see what happens from there, right? Like I can't really like bounce Mind Stone or anything. I don't think that's a great plan. I think it's probably better just to like hold up my counterspell and then starting next turn have like Brazen Bow or Ninja and try to go from there. So I think I'm just gonna do the untap here. Double Mutavault. I want 3 blue mana. There's only 2 Mutavaults. Come on, deck. You are absolutely killing me right now. Yeah, all right, this is what we're doing. So they're what? Are they drawing? They are drawing a card, sure. So they probably just think I'm Merfolk with a really bad hand. I'm not Merfolk with a really bad hand. I am mono blue with a really bad hand. So let's, I guess I'm just going to cast my Brazen Borrower here and hope to draw exactly an island. That way I can ninjutsu in Ninja. Oh no, this is dying. That's what's happening. Oh, Defile. We are, that's the gamer we're dealing with today. Okay. Your mana, you are the one that is not new. So I'm actually just going to go ahead and try to attack for 2. If they play another removal spell like Mutavault, I think I'm actually mostly okay with that anyway. Murderous Rider, question mark? How deep are we going here? It's new. So it just deals 2 damage and they gain 2 life. I am going to let that happen. I don't know what crazy ass 5 or 6 drop Planeswalker they're probably playing, but I feel like not walking into that. So I'm going to hold up my counter spells and just kind of hope for more actual islands or an Otawara. Either way, I want to be able to play Fairy Seer, hold up Ninja, or hold up Counterspell, and then it's not exactly what I asked for, but I can still flash in Spellstutter Sprite and hold up Counterspell mana. So it looks like we're playing against just like infinite removal deck, and that's going to get really annoying really fast, but I currently can't do anything about that. So, oh my Lanta. All right, this is about to get hilarious. They have like 405 mana right now. Oh no, another Walking Ballista deck? Come on. Please go away. We're fighting another Walking Ballista deck. So, still not the island I was asking for, but if I can go... They're just drawing a card off of this, I assume. Yeah. So, if we can get Spellstutter Sprite on the table, untap, have a Ninja in play, then I actually do feel fairly confident about our chances if that gets to happen, but it's looking like a pretty big if. So they've got 4 cards, which is about the same as what I have. They have infinitely more mana. So if I can like run them out of removal at some point, then that's actually kind of okay. Nope. This is give me an island. Yeah, and I don't know that I can afford to tap out of actual counterspell here because like I'm positive they're playing, what's that 6-drop Liliana that has a -9? That has 0 text in this match. Or rather, it has 0 text now that Cabal Coffers is on the table. But they're drawing more cards, which likely means a lot more removal here. So what are we doing here? Are we 7 mana, 8, 9, 10, 11 total? That's what we're looking at. 11 mana. Liliana, another Karn deck. I mean, I should have figured that. We saw the Walking Ballista, but I'm still going to complain a little. So I can't really beat a Karn. So I'm going to see what big nasty thing comes. Is it another Karn? What is this? Sacrifice a creature. If not, they lose 2 life and draw a card. Oh my god. All right. So they're going to get to draw 3 and gross. So they're up to 5 cards. Well, that's disgusting. Expedition map. All right, so that's another Cabal Coffers they can get. So we're just like hard body on like 106 mana here. Sure. Why are you like this deck? All right, well, Fairy Seer, let's scry our way into a land. We actually do, so that's nice for next turn. Doesn't help me this turn. But I am gonna just, I guess, play this. And this is gonna suck because I have to assume there's like another copy of Invoke Despair happening here. So that's just gonna like absolutely body us. But if they're doing like almost anything else, I guess I can kind of try to play Magic. They can also just like play the same Liliana that I was scared of earlier and then have each player sacrifice 2 creatures. And I have exactly that many. So I'm hoping for not that. I'm also hoping for not Walking Ballista. Oh god, is this just like a big ass Walking Ballista? We will hover over the concede game button in case this is a big ass Walking Ballista. I'm smelling giant Walking Ballista. We're done here. Bye. All right. Oh my god, what is happening to us today? So we're getting negates in, and I guess Thieving Skydivers are fine. I think I like those. Cards that I don't really want. I don't know that I want. I don't really know that I want the Forces. Are Spellstutters even like really playable here? I don't know that the answer is yes. Subtlety also seems really medium. I think that's still better than Spellstutters though. So I guess we'll do this. There. So we'll have some sprites and some forces out, some skydivers and some negates in, and fight our third walking ballista deck in a row today. I actually am going to keep this. So I'm not exactly happy about the prospect of having like just a defile absolutely body my entire deck, but I can't really do anything about that. That's just kind of the nature of this matchup. So I'm going to do this and try to scry lands to the top here. And those are not lands, so go away. And we'll see if I somehow get my creature, like, I guess unmolested enough to be able to ninjutsu. Yeah, I don't know if I see that happening, but let's attack. Do I risk a defile here? Or do I just like play another seer? I think I have to risk a defile here. So if they have it, oh, thank God. All right, and draw my card. And it's a land. Let's go. I'm going to see again and try to scry into more lands. We get them. So far, so good. And yeah, let's try to not just get super ultra bodied here. What's this? 2 mana says, I don't know, Mind Stone maybe? A walking ballista for 1. Yeah, you can block and shock. That's fine. I don't actually mind that. So let's do the untap. And I actually am going to play the Mutavault because I can use it as mana to gate in my ninja. So let's go ahead and do this. And the cool thing about this too is that if they try to block and shock, right, then I will still be able to transmute my Fairy Seer for the ninja. So I get to do this, wait for them to, oh, nope, that's just not what's happening here. All right, well, that plays for me. Do I hold up Counterspell or do I just like cast my friends? I know I have a Skydiver on top. So upsides, downsides. Upsides are obviously getting to Counterspell. No, fuck that. I'm just gonna do this. I can have another Miscreant. I actually think I like that better than a Sky, and I don't know that I really want to draw the Skydiver. So let's just do this. And I think I like giving myself kind of additional turns to play with here. If they resolve like a Liliana of the Veil, then honestly, so what? I can't do anything about a Mind Stone. What's this? Are you another Ballista question mark? What are we doing here? March of Wretched Sorrow, playing against me, drawing another Miscreant, which I have. You jerk. Yo, I do not like my opponent right now. They are very big brained. So, and I'm gonna do this. Hedge against drawing an actual island. Oh, oops. Always yes. Card, please. Nope. So I guess I just do this and try to give myself more lands. Nope. Still not more lands. The subtleties are nice though. So I'm still waiting on my opponent to just like drop some big giant freaking planeswalker or something crazy on me. Damnation. That sucks. All right. Oh, well, there's an island. So I did ask for you. So let's, I guess, just cast you. And so I've got counter spells up. Starting next turn, I can also hold up subtlety. I think this is okay-ish. So you get to get a Cabal Coffers with this and start just casting the really crazy spells. So this is where all of that wild shit's coming in. So they're going to have like, what, the Invoke Despair and Torment to Hailfire, all of those crazy ass spells that I was looking at earlier. 5 mana, 6 mana. There's the Invoke Despair. So I'm going to go ahead and negate that. I would like to not deal with that, please and thank you. What is this? What the hell are you? Oh, okay, that's fine. I'm like, are you kidding me? Go away. All right. So let's... I think I want to just hold up subtlety / counterspell. Doing that, I can, the next turn, have Moon Circuit Hacker bouncing my subtlety back, and then go from there to being able to... Yeah, I like that. So that allows me to like hold up counterspell through a few turns here and kind of like progress my plan. And that works regardless of whether I actually draw land. Ugh, Urborg. Messing up all my tapping. So if they remove this, then so be it. I already didn't have anything to say about that. But if they don't, then I've got a relatively sweet ninja plan. And if they just have like a defile, then... So what's this? Of One Mind. I'm not firing up Mutavault for just that. I'm just going to go ahead and try to draw my card. And yes, I would like to draw a card. Hey! All right, well, that's a good start. So let's see. If they have just like some big ass walking ballista, then I get to have the line of like subtlety, and then after subtlety, I can counterspell. But this is a of mana they have access to. Like, I legitimately have no idea how much mana they have right now. I just know it's a lot. So what do we got? We got 6 swamps, so that's 6 use 2 tap 6 more, so 12, 13, 14, 15. So they have 15 mana right now. That's might as well be a million. I luckily do not give a shit about my graveyard at all. Like, this is definitely not a graveyard deck. So what's this? Are you a big ass walking ballista? If so, I will be very happy to subtlety it. So they can use 2 of that mana, transmute, and end up with 10 total. Oh, okay, we're not doing anything. So I'm still gonna cast subtlety though. So not only does it get like another threat on the table, right, but it also procs my of one mind. So the fact that they could just be trying to like dance a subtlety or like play some big what is this? What the fuck are you casting? 10? Oh, are you just like gaining 100 life with whatever that spell's called? The March of, I think we're just gaining, yeah, Wretched Sorrow, that's what it's called. All right, so they're just gaining 106 life. Gross. Oh, and we have another subtlety. I think I'm just gonna hard cast my F1 mind here, and I can loot away this island too, so I'm actually not even sad about that. Yes, let's loot. I don't hate that, mostly because I don't want it. So if it ends up being that I pitched a Brine Barrow Intruder to subtlety and hold up actual counterspell, that doesn't make me sad. What's this? You are turning off my Mutavault. Yeah, you're allowed. Like, don't get me wrong, turning off Mutavault is good, but like a Black Spreading Seas is probably not ultra high on the concern list. What the fuck are you casting? No, 17, man, that is so much. Oh my Lanta, oh, I'm sorry. What is happening to me today? Oh my god, why is my day like this? I'm not beating that. Oh boy, next round. Well, I just dropped. I don't know what to tell you. That went so bad. So yeah, we made the mistake of building a deck to try to play against what most of the modern meta is actually doing, and wow, we didn't face any of that, and that went badly enough to the point where I'm just like, I don't even know if I want to play the other 2 rounds. 0-3 is rough. But so that was really funny, right? So the idea was that we're going to play against things like, excuse me, play against things like, say, Death Shadow, where if we can dodge some removal, the card draw is going to be enough to pull us ahead of that deck. Play against things like Hammer Time, where a lot of the low to the ground interaction and Thieving Skydivers were pretty good. Maybe against like 4-color Money Pile, where we can just like draw more counter spells than they do and get cards like Nyx and Mystical Dispute and have those be good. But no, we just fought 3 Walking Ballista decks in a row with our deck full of X1s and Spellstutter Sprite against decks that are trying to make 10 plus mana. So like, you know, sometimes you just don't get the matchups you want, and it's one of those really funny things where I've always said there's always like 70 decks that you can expect in modern, even though there's always like a few best decks, right? Like Lurrus is clearly the best thing to be doing in modern at pretty much all times right now, and none of those were Lurrus decks. In fact, those were exactly the opposite of Lurrus decks, right? Like Lurrus wants cards with CMC 2 or less. Every deck I've played today wants cards of CMC like 12 or better. So like, you know, oh man, but that was really funny though. So we I won't say that those matches were not fun to navigate, because I still like what the deck was doing. Like doing the ninja thing was super sweet. All 3 of those decks played giant piles of removal, even if they were trying to do big mana things, and we still got to do crazy ninjutsu things against all 3 of those decks at least once or twice, right? So like the deck still did what it was designed to do, but those decks were exactly the opposite of what we're building to beat. So, you know, just sometimes you just have a really shitty day, but that was hilariously bad as far as the ass whooping we just caught. Like we just caught hella else, but that was still really fun. So let me know what you would kind of do with this style of deck if you were to try to port something from one format to another, right? Because that's essentially what we did today. Like we ported a Pauper deck into modern and then just kind of like try to do our best with that. And I still think I like this kind of list though. Like it's cool. It could stand to have a little bit of a higher power level as far as like actually closing out games goes, but fighting against 2 Trons and a mono black control list is not exactly the best ruler to measure by. So take that with a grain of salt. But if you like what you're watching, including, of course, watching me take L's, just make sure to actually click like on the video. Let me know that you enjoyed this. Also, sub to the channel if you haven't already done so, and I will see y'all on the next one.